Morning, guys. Raptors Freak. Alexiot's here Sunday morning. We had big news last night that we've all been waiting for this weekend that we weren't sure when it was going to come. I thought it was going to come tonight or tomorrow morning, but they made the roster cut last night in the evening, and they cut Ishmail Wainwright, keeping Bonga, and they're keeping Sam Dekker, and it's the right decision. It's the one we went every day last week speculating about this. And at different points, we thought different people were the odd man out. And the final thing that we figured out from what we saw was that it would probably be Wainwright. And it happened that way. The Raptors management was smart and they went the tall route. And I'm really happy about that because, like I said in a video in the last couple of days, it's great that we're all size and we don't have very many short guys on the team this year. Because if we're not going to have a true center and a legit 7-footer, then we should have size all around overall on the whole team. And so cutting Wainwright was the right move. I wish him well. He's going to get right on another team. He even said it in his interview the other day that one door closes, another door opens. And that's going to be very true for him. He's quality. He can go play on another team. Somebody on Twitter was saying he should go to the Rockets. And I think that's actually a really good fit. That their team's so young that even though he's a rookie himself, he could be kind of a calming, mature presence on the team, even so. So today I want to talk about, my subject today is about Raptors media content and about different entities and people out there that are making Raptors media and who I like to follow and listen to personally and who I find is, not necessarily the best people to listen to or follow as far as content out there. And we're going to be looking at radio, print, internet, television. I've even got, let me just start first by plugging somebody who I think is amazing. All right. This artist's name is Drake Serial. Let me try and get it without the reflection so y'all can see. This is a print that I got from my friend Becca at Black Pearl Gift Shop on Kensington Avenue in Kensington. It's a tattoo shop. She's a good friend, and her friend is Drake Serial. Drake Serial is an artist based out of Portland, Oregon, somewhere out in Oregon, and she does art on the NBA. She doesn't just do Raptors. Like, look at this awesome graphic that she did of the championship team with Drake and the Raptor and all that on there. You can get her art online, and I highly recommend it. It's really good stuff. She does a lot of stuff with Jordan stuff and other teams. So she's not only just doing Raptors art, but she does really like the Raptor stuff. That's Drake Serial. You can find her on Instagram and other places. So, if you want fine art in your house that's Raptor related, you can get it from people. There is stuff out there. There's other people like Casey Bannerman does a lot of really cool stuff with the Raptors. And he's done such good stuff that now he does stuff for the Raptors, involved with them. This is the thing. A lot of the people I'm going to talk about today started out doing stuff like I'm doing, just doing it for fun, out of passion, and not really out of wanting to make money or something like that. Blake Murphy is somebody I want to talk about right now, who was a writer, somebody who wrote about the Raptors 10 years ago. He wasn't getting paid anything. He wasn't doing anything. He was just doing it for fun. And he's just made it into a career now. I mean, he has the radio show on Fan 590 in the morning now. He's one of the most trusted sources of information about what's going on with the Raptors, Blake Murphy. So I say, if you guys want to follow somebody on Twitter for Raptors information, he's the one who broke the Ish Wainwright thing last night. So I highly recommend Blake Murphy as a trusted Raptors source, somebody who really loves the team and is basketball first and will give you good information. So Blake Murphy to follow on Twitter, and also listen to his radio show. There's a couple of guys I follow on Twitter that I don't like normally. They're from Sportsnet, but they give good information also. And that would be Michael Grange and Josh Lewenberg. Both of them, I have problems with their articles that they write for Sportsnet because they're Sportsnet guys. Let's not get it twisted. They're Sportsnet, part of the establishment of the sports media in Canada that I've been talking about at times in some of these live streams about how they have directives. And the thing I don't like about Michael Grange is for his writing is he's the idiot that was writing all these articles a couple years ago about how Masai Ujiri was going to go to Washington and run the Washington team and leave us high and dry, and that the Raptors were going to go downhill. Like every once in a while, Michael Grange writes a Chicken Little article where this guy is falling, oh, the Raptors are going to be so bad. And like, because what will happen when Kyle Lowry leaves the Raptors and then the Raptors will be nothing without him? You know, he writes garbage like that. So I don't recommend listening to Grange when he's writing editorials or if he's talking about his own opinion or writing a slant, because he's trying to write controversial stuff to stir things up. Like the media, some people write stuff to get emotions out of people. So he'll write an article that'll make Raptors fans pissed. Just because that's a media tactic. The media does stuff like that to manipulate our emotions. So I don't trust Grange's motives, but he is pretty good for getting just like information. If you're not trying to listen to his opinion and stuff like that, or what he thinks is going to happen, he can report on stuff that's pretty good. So on Twitter, I follow Blake Murphy, Michael Grange, and Josh Lewenberg, because those guys are pretty factual and really good at giving you up to the minute kind of like information about what's happening with the team. But like I said, I wouldn't listen to Grange and Lewenberg in their articles though, when they're writing stuff on Sportsnet, because half the time it's just fluff and it's just kind of like trying to cause problems. Okay. Getting back to the radio thing. On the radio, we have a whole new show on the radio that people should be listening to. And that's the new William Liu, Alex Wong radio show that's on in the afternoon now. These guys, like I said before, are passionate Raptor fans who started just as fans and guys that were just doing stuff, creating content on their own and not getting, paid or anything like that. Will Liu went through the Raptors Republic group and got noticed. And now, boom, you're the big time, baby. You're on the radio now every day. And you're a trusted source. And I love those guys. Those guys they're fun because they cover the sport in a fun way, but also they're factual and they really are giving it from a pro Raptor stance for the most part. They're fair. So I highly recommend those guys on the radio, and plus Blake Murphy in the morning, because I think he's really good. Thinking about sources like Print. Let's look at Print real quick in Toronto. The guy I really read and I think is good is Doug Smith. Doug Smith of the Toronto Star has been covering the team since the very beginning, has a great perspective of the franchise over time. And he wrote that really great book about the Raptors a while back that I highly recommend. And he's just fair. Like he does write stuff that can be at times challenging and annoying to me. But for the most part, he's a very fair, good journalist. And I can't say that about all the other papers here in town. Like we know the Toronto Sun is a tabloid paper, guys, in a lot of ways. So Simmons will write tabloid kind of stuff about the Raptors just to ruffle feathers and just crap. He'll write crap like Steve Simmons. Yeah. So I don't totally recommend the Toronto Sun for getting Raptors information. They have really good stat pages. Like if you want to go look at the standings and you want to go look at all the stats, the Sun's great for that. But if you're reading editorials in there and stuff like that, I wouldn't read too much of that stuff because half the time, once again, there is a bias and there's a weird underlying like motive for some of the stuff that's written and put out in the Sun. So be very wary of that. The Globe and Mail is kind of half and half. It's a little bit of like garbage, but then it can be good, just like the Star. So I recommend Doug Smith if you're reading about the Raptors in the newspaper. He's the best newspaper article writer on the Raptors. He has been since the beginning, and he still is. So looking at online content, like guys like me on the YouTube, there's a lot of different people I've watched doing a lot of different stuff content-wise online. And there's a few of them that I really like, but they all have the same problem. And it's the thing that I don't do on this. They speculate too much. Like I love those Raptors Digest kids. Those two little blonde kids, Stryker and whatever, they talk some passionate Raptor stuff. And they're constantly putting content out. But they go too far with the speculation clips. Like too much of it, guys. Like if you hear me and I'm talking, you'll hear me talking right now. Please cut out all the James Harden, Ben Simmons trade talk articles because we don't need that kind of stuff. I don't want that kind of content. That's fairy tale land stuff to just talk about, oh, what if they come here and all this stuff. Let's not do this. I mean, I know it's hard to manufacture content and figure out what to talk about. Like, look what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about Raptors content because this is what I'm finding for content today. But I really want to get a good overview for the passionate Raptor fan like me to find good information, to find the good, best places to listen to people who are talking about the Raptors. And the Digest kids are great. I love their enthusiasm. I love that they're putting stuff out all the time, but they do too much speculation. Like, I wish they would just do more reacting and more just kind of like get on that enthusiasm train. I like the dumb games you guys play and all that kind of stuff. But the Raptors Digest kids are good. And then Luca Rosano. Okay, listen, this guy, I like him too. But to me, he does speculate a little too much and talk a little bit too much about possible trades and things like that once again. And the other thing is Luca's an NBA fan. He's not necessarily a Raptor fan first. He is a Raptor fan first, but his allegiance to other teams kind of bleeds in sometimes, or to players, and he even covers other sports a little bit too much for what I would like. I mean, because he's a sports broadcast student, and he's good. He's good, and he should be somewhere down the road involved in broadcasting for the Raptors. I really do believe that. Luca Rosano is a professional, and he's really good at doing Raptors content. But I want him to focus more just on the Raptors, like me. Like, you don't need to talk about Cleveland or these other teams so much, man. Use your market. But he's great. I think his live streams with the game are a little too long and maybe a little too boring. Like, Luca, if you put me on there with you, I'll be your color guy. You can do play-by-play, and we can do this real good every night. If you want, I'll do a live stream with you. Anyway, that's an aside. But Luca's great. The Raptors Digest kids are great. Let me talk about Raptors Republic real quick. That website has been a lifeblood for Raptors fans over the last 10 years or so. I love that website. I want that website to be so good. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. That website has gone downhill in the last 4 years. Like, they don't have the same kind of quality contributors because they're all getting poached. They had William Liu. They had Blake Murphy. They had all these really good writers. The people that were doing the Raptors reaction report card a couple of years ago were so much better than the ones doing them now. Like, I don't know what these guys are writing, this garbage. And Zarar runs that. Zarar, he's in charge of Raptors Republic. I know he means well, and I appreciate all the hard work he puts into that website and stuff like that. But you need to take a step back in some ways, bro. Like, listen, some of the clips that you put out about doing the X's and O's and analyzing what the coaches are doing, like taking a play and putting it up on YouTube and talking over it and saying that, this and this, you're not a coach, bro. And you don't know the X's and O's like you think you do. Because you don't come across as credible to me, like with your knowledge of basketball. So sometimes when you're breaking down plays and talking about how the Raptors could have done better in this, you're showing a play where that one play got messed up. And they did it other times, and it was perfectly fine. So, Zarar, I'm really frustrated with you. I wish you would let a little on the reins with Raptors Republic. You need to get new blood. You need new talent on your content, because some of these young guys are coming up. Warren Weisfeld, he's smart and he knows his stuff. But some of these other guys that are covering the Raptors for you on your website are garbage. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just kids just talking out of their ass. They don't know what they're talking about. Like, the less y'all try and talk about like speculation and like try and coach the coach, you're not Nick Nurse, guys. You guys don't know more about coaching than Nick Nurse. You don't know more about general managing than Bobby Webster. So stop doing this quarterbacking, this Monday morning quarterbacking about how they play or what they're doing on the court, because y'all just sound stupid. And you're not making any sense in some of the shit you're saying. So Raptors Republic used to be really good, and I used to love it. Samson Folk's a good guy too. Like, I like his content for the most part, but he gets a little, cheesy too sometimes. But the rest of them, The rest of them, I don't like a lot of Raptors Republic right now. I don't even look at their report cards after games anymore because it's just such garbage. Like the way they give A, B, whatever to all the players on that stuff. I used to go look at that every time after a game because I loved to read it because it was usually written funny and it had really good insight in it. But now it's just garbage. Whoever's writing those now is horrible at it. So Raptors Republic, please get better. The best thing about y'all's whole outfit is Talking Raptors, is that podcast with Nick Reynoldson and Barry Taylor. If y'all don't know Talking Raptors, y'all need to start listening to it because it's one of the best podcasts out there about the Raptors. These are two stand-up comedians from Toronto here, Nick Reynoldson and Barry Taylor. They're hilarious, and they talk about Raptors with a passion like I do. And they make the funniest jokes, and all this stupid shit they do on their show is really highly recommended. So when Talking Raptors starts getting going again, listen to that podcast. And then another podcast that is a fantastic podcast, I've been a guest on it a few times, is Confederacy of Dunks, hosted by Freddie Rivas. This podcast usually has all kinds of entertainment people from Toronto, comedians, actors, people that are big time, that are fans, and they come in and they just talk about the team in a fun way. Like Freddie has really interesting questions, not the typical kind of podcast about sports. He will talk really crazy subjects, like how would you change the game with which rules, and like, we're talking about having a penalty box in the NBA and stuff. It's really weird, like fun stuff. But okay, let me see. Good morning, guys. I got Fun Guy and I got Kenny here this morning. Yes, we knew Wainwright was gone. It sucks, but it made real sense. It did. It shook out all kinds of different ways. Like Wainwright looked like a favorite for a while there. And, it's just the size thing, guys. He can't get taller. He's not going to get taller. But Scotty Barnes could get taller, guys. That's on the down low. Paul Jones said it the other day, but it's true. He's only 20. And Kevin Garnett, when he came into the league, he grew like another 2 or 3 inches after he got into the NBA. So if our strength and training and whatever health people are helping Scotty grow taller, he could be a 7-foot player in like 2 years. This is something nobody's talking about with Scotty Barnes right now, but it's true. Even Delano, these guys could get taller. They're already super tall, but they could be like 2 or 3 inches taller in 2 years. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Okay, Kenny, same here. Knew he would be cut. I know he will be fine because teams like players from our system. Yeah. Other teams love our scraps. They love all the things coming from us. Guys like Stanley Johnson revitalized their career when they came to Toronto. So Ish Wainwright's going to find a team, and he'll find one quick. And it's actually good that they cut him now because he doesn't have much time. He's got to get on another team and get set in there somewhere. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him on another team very soon, like maybe even tomorrow. So we'll see. I'm a Fun Guy. I figure the way Bonga can crash the boards, he's useful for third-string center. Well, he's definitely useful for rebounds and blocking shots and doing a lot of stuff. I don't know if he's big enough to play center because he's very, like I said before, he's very similar to Boucher with his body type, and he may be too slight to bang down there. They list him as a guard, guys. Bonga is a guard. That's what they're saying. He's a guard forward, so he's like a 2-3. So I don't know. Anyway, getting back to what I've been talking about with the media guide stuff. Like I want to go through all the different types of media. Like I did the internet, I did the radio, I did print. Let's talk about the TV guys. Like I love Matt Devlin. Matt Devlin's made up for losing Chuck Swirsky. He's much better now. Leo's out now, and we got Alvin coming in. That's a great addition. Jack is kind of starting to bug me because, he used to be a lot more focused on calling the game when Chuck Swirsky was around, but he's kind of going off the rails lately. Like, Jack Armstrong, if you listen to me today, I want you to stop drinking during the game. I'm pretty sure you're getting drunk during the game. Like you're having a wild time, and we understand you like to sing and stuff like that. But I'd much rather you cover the game and talk about the game instead of just sitting there having conversations about your relatives and which bar you want to go drink at after the game and stuff like that. Like get focused, Jack. Seriously, recommit yourself to focusing yourself on covering the game this year. Because honestly, our fan base is young. It continues to be young as it comes in. And you're turning people off with your weird old man jive craziness, Like Come on, man, rein it in, rein it in, Jack. Come on. Anyway, but yeah, overall, our TV stuff is really good. Our radio guys are really good. I love Paul Jones, Eric Smith, and Sherman Hamilton. Those guys really do a good job. And our TV guys are overall pretty good. I was shocked to hear Rod Black has quit and left TSN all of a sudden. He's kind of like a sports institution here in Canada, and he's going to be a big void to fill for like sports media here. I don't know who's going to step into that void, but yeah, I don't know what this TSN studio crew is going to look like without no Leo and Rod. I hope it's not just Sam Mitchell there by himself. That's going to be really annoying. All right, that's somebody that I don't want covering the Raptors anymore. Sam Mitchell is not good to cover the Raptors. I know he was a coach of the year for us. He was involved with our team and, all this stuff, but he's an asshole, guys. Like, he was a jerk to the team when he was the coach. Like, part of the reason why those teams weren't that good was partly because of him. Like, he was not a good coach, and he's arrogant. And honestly, he's not really a Raptor person. He's an NBA person. Because if you see him covering the NBA in the States, he disses us behind our backs, and he talks us down. He's even predicted us out of the playoffs a couple of years in a row in the last couple of years when he's just been stupid. I'm like, dude, you're a Toronto guy. You're supposed to know your team, but you're always picking us out of the playoffs. I want Sam Mitchell to just go away. Just go away, Sam Mitchell. We're sick of you. We don't want you on TV anymore. We don't want you covering our sport anymore. You go get a TV job in the States, and you can be an NBA man there. Okay, Ken A. Nobody can replace Chuck. I still don't like Matt. During his early days, he will do calls for other networks after we got eliminated in regular season. Matt sounds like a baseball guy. Yeah. A lot of what you're saying there were issues that I had with him. When he first came in, I really had a resentment towards him because Chuck Swirsky was just such our guy, man. And just like, I love Chuck. I love Chuck to this day. I miss his calls. I miss the way that him and Jack used to call the game. But Devlin really has won me over time because he's been our announcer for over like 12 years or so now. So he's been here for a long time. And yeah, it did bug me when the beginning when he was doing games after we would be done, he was still calling other games for the US. And he does sound like another sport, but really you know what? He's a true blue Raptor passionate guy now. Like, he really has bought in and he's with us. He's with us. So we have to have somebody. I'm glad that it's him at this point. If it can't be Chuck, I'm glad it's Matt Devlin because he treats it okay. And he does give a good excitement to his voice and his call. And, we could be having a lot worse for an announcer. We should think about it that way. Smitch can be annoying. Smitch is so annoying, guys. Like, all right. I just wish he'd go away. Let me think. What else did I think about, like, different sources of media? There's some other people I wanted to mention maybe that would be good. I don't know. I did print. I did TV. I did radio. Like I said, Drake Serial is a great artist, guys. I don't know if you guys were here when I showed this, but she is a print artist. This is an original print by her of the championship team. And if you go find her on Instagram, you can see all of her stuff. She does all kinds of NBA related stuff, not just the Raptors. She does Portland Trailblazers art. She does old Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan kind of art, all kinds of really cool stuff. Highly recommend that artist and Casey Bannerman. Casey Bannerman's a great Raptors artist who does a lot of cool work and stuff like that. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe there isn't much more for me to talk about as far as the media people. I just want Jack Armstrong to rein it in. I want Raptors Republic to get their act together, get some new talent, get some better writers. Because, listen, I'm sick of the people who make content about the Raptors who think they're coaches, who think that they can tell Nick Nurse how to run the team or what kind of plays, or maybe you could do this to improve. Zarar, you don't know more than Nick Nurse. So stop doing these X's and O's clips on YouTube. You just come off as like dumb. And he mispronounces names all the time in the NBA, and it really drives me nuts. So the Talking Raptor guys are really good. Confederacy of Dunks with Freddie Rivas, amazing podcast. Can't recommend them more than enough. Doug Smith's your guy for print media, and you got these guys on the radio now, William Liu, Alex Wong, Blake Murphy, this is the thing. I haven't heard Alvin yet because I was at the game he called, the preseason game he called, and I've been watching other streams with other announcers from other cities. But I'm really excited to see Alvin. This jersey behind me, that's Alvin's jersey right there, number 20. He was my favorite Raptor for like most of my fandom, like from when he came to the Raptors and even past. It was really Lowry's kind of taken over him, or Fred VanVleet might be my favorite Raptor right now, but that's a signed Alvin Williams jersey. I've met him a couple times. Really nice guy. Him and I are about the same height. He's just a little bit taller than me. Really, really nice guy. Really well-spoken. Real Raptors, passion person, with the team. And I think he's going to be great. I think Alvin's going to do a good job. And I'm rooting for him. And we'll see. I haven't heard him enough, so I can't really give you a good opinion on that, Kenny. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up right now. Just a little primer on some Raptors media folks. Ish Wainwright's out, and we kind of have our team now. Yeah, I am tall. I play basketball. I did play basketball. I'm not. This is the thing. Some of these guys that I'm talking about today, I don't think they ever played basketball. I don't think they actually understand the sport the way they talk about it, especially the Raptor Republic guys. They don't talk about talk about the Raptors or basketball in a realistic way to me. Sometimes you have to get on the ground and get sweaty and be a baller for a few years to really understand the sport. And I don't know if some of the people that are covering the Raptors are actually like basketball people that know how to play or anything. So, yeah. Hey, fun guy, man. I'll meet you down at the court sometime. We can shoot around some hoops. You just name the court around town and we can just play a little bit of 21 or something like that. Nothing too crazy because I am 46 and I don't want to fall out. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching me today. I'll be back tomorrow. Like, comment, subscribe. Just win, baby. Raptors going to have such a good season this year. And we should all be really super hyped about our team. We're building in this smart way. Wainwright, that's a tough cut. But, it had to be done. And like he said, one door closes, another door opens. He's going to get right on another team, and we'll see him somewhere else. Yeah, I'm outmatched. You're 26. You're going to run circles around me, man. You know what happens in this kind of matchups? I have to do the wily veteran kind of stuff, because I got out there and I played a pickup game this summer a couple times with guys around your age, and they were surprised about my fundamentals and just being smart about my movement. Because I'll tell you what, when you get old like me, you have to really conserve your movement and use it in the right way. You can't be doing all this extra stuff because you get tired. So you're really focused on what you're doing with your moves because you don't have a whole lot of energy. All right, man. I love it. You guys are the best. And go Raptors, man. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Today was the media. Tomorrow it'll just be another subject. Who knows? All right. Take care, y'all. Have a blessed Sunday and be happy, be gratitude, all the good stuff. And go Raptors. We're going to win, baby. We're going to win.